everyone, we did our project on Microsoft's carbon fee policy by Emily, Sasha, Kyle, and Parker. Our project focuses on Microsoft's internal carbon fee, which is the company's strategy for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. As Microsoft has expanded its cloud computing and artificial intelligence services, its energy use and carbon emissions have increased. To address this environmental issue, Microsoft charges its own business divisions a fee based on the emissions they generate. The revenue collected is invested in renewable energy, carbon removal, and other sustainability initiatives. This policy encourages each department to consider the environmental costs of its activities while helping Microsoft work toward its goal of becoming carbon negative by 2030. Microsoft's internal carbon fee works like a company-wide carbon tax. Every business division tracks the emissions it produces from activities such as electricity use, business travel, and also operations. Each division then pays an internal fee based on those emissions. Instead of leaving the company, the money is reinvested into projects that reduce Microsoft's environmental impact, including renewable energy, carbon removal, and energy-efficient technologies. The main participants include Microsoft leadership, the sustainability team, individual business units, and external partners that provide clean energy and carbon removal services. By attaching a financial cost to emissions, the policy creates an incentive for each department to reduce its carbon footprint while also supporting Microsoft's long-term sustainability goals.
One of the biggest goals of Microsoft's carbon fee policy is to address what's known as a negative externality. In simple terms, that's when the environmental costs of something like carbon emissions aren't included in the price of doing business. Without a system like this, departments can create emissions without really feeling the financial impact. Microsoft changes that by assigning a cost to those emissions, which makes each business unit more accountable for the environmental impact of its decisions. The policy also creates some strong incentives. Departments are encouraged to reduce energy use, improve efficiency, and look for cleaner ways of operating because lowering emissions also lowers the carbon fee they have to pay. Instead of treating sustainability as just another corporate goal, Microsoft ties it directly to financial decision making. And I think that's one of the reasons the program has been successful. Another important part of the policy is what Microsoft does with the money it collects. Rather than keeping it as profit, the company reinvests those funds into renewable energy projects, carbon removal efforts, and other sustainability initiatives. That helps create a cycle where the fees collected actually support additional environmental improvements. Of course, there are trade-offs. Some departments have higher operating costs, especially if they rely on energy-intensive activities or data centers. Microsoft also has to spend time and resources tracking emissions and managing the program. Even with those added costs, the company believes the long-term benefits like lower emissions, improved efficiency, and other preparation for future environmental regulations make the investment worthwhile. When looking at efficiency, I think Microsoft's carbon fee is a good example of using economic incentives instead of strict rules. Rather than requiring every department to reduce emissions the exact same way, the policy gives each business unit the flexibility to decide what works best for them. Some might invest in energy-efficient equipment, while others may reduce travel or purchase renewable energy. That flexibility usually leads to more cost-effective solutions and encourages innovation. There are also several groups that benefit from the policy. Microsoft benefits because it becomes more energy efficient, reduces long-term environmental risks, and strengthens its reputation as a company that takes sustainability seriously. Investors often see that as a positive because it helps prepare the company for future regulations and changing market expectations. Customers also benefit because many people today prefer doing business with companies that are making an effort to reduce the environmental impact. On the other hand, there are costs involved. The departments responsible for producing the most emissions pay the largest carbon fees and may need to invest in cleaner technologies or make operational changes. Those costs can affect budgets in the short term, but they also encourage smarter decisions over time. Overall, I think the policy improves economic efficiency because it makes environmental costs part of the decision making process instead of allowing those costs to be passed on to society. That's really the main purpose of an internal carbon pricing system, and Microsoft's program has become one of the most known examples of how that approach can work.
Hello everyone, today I'll be doing the evidence and credibility for Microsoft's carbon-free policy. What evidence exists about the outcomes? Microsoft has provided plenty of evidence that shows tremendous outcomes through charts provided by their own website. We can see that there has been carbon removal since 2010s, which has gone up yearly. That means every year that it has gone up. We also see from the same chart there has been a massive drop in net carbon emissions, which continued efforts Microsoft will be able to achieve their goal by 2030. We continue to see the chart that Microsoft has provided that they've been doing a wonderful job. You see that they have the 2030 plan, which hopefully goes well. They've been well on track. Is the policy credible and well supported? Microsoft has a very credible and well supported policy. They, unlike many other companies, measure the amount of carbon and emissions and conduct what the fee will cost. Many places say if you've created this emission, but another company has done way more, you guys will both pay the same amount. That's not how Microsoft does it. Microsoft does it based off how much you actually produce. Many other companies use shadow prices and use the money gathered from fees to not help. Many companies take the money and they don't help out. They use it for whatever they want to use it. Microsoft 100% uses everything to help achieve their goal. They have used fees to help cut down emissions as well as invest in other ways to go green. Final judgment and recommendations. Overall, evaluation of the policy. Over the weeks from doing this assignment, the policy that Microsoft has implemented is a great policy, and for such a large company to do this is amazing. They have made goals and have taken the proper steps to accurately achieve these goals in a timely manner. The fees make distributors, as well as people who want to work with them, choose to go green. Microsoft basically says if you don't want to help out, you're going to pay this fee. A lot of companies want to avoid fees. Companies are made from money. If you're not making money, you're not doing too well. So whatever it takes to make more money and work with a company as great as Microsoft, they're going to have to choose to go green. We have seen a lot of power be saved as well as products that have been recycled. Microsoft, I have a lot of Microsoft stuff. When you open the box, a lot of it says recycled. They really are very transparent about making sure everything that they do is green. The only issue comes to battle is with AI data centers. This is something I just recently discovered, is that these data centers will be a large producer of emissions, and they're building them very quick. And it should be a goal to work with these data centers to limit the amount of emissions that they have, because once they start getting built, they're not going to stop. They're building, 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 and it is insane. Suggested improvements or alternatives. The only improvements would be to get ahead of AI and find ways to prevent future emissions before you end up having to fix what there already is and future stuff. You want to make sure that you're fixing the issues before they get out of control. It's a lot easier to prevent issues rather than fix current and past issues. I feel Microsoft is on a great track and will continue to do very well.